What's up, Juventini? Alberto here. I got all your Juventus news this morning. All right, Fagioli with an extension that has mixed reviews coming from the fan base. We'll take a look at the details there. Vlahovic is raising more question marks from the fan base, given news of the extension and his possible availability for the weekend. We'll take a look at that. And apparently, Juve is backing out of one of their main targets for the winter mercado. We'll take a look at what Nico Schira has to say there. And then, bad news on Danilo, but we'll take a look at that and how far it actually may set Juve back. All right, so all that and much more right now. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is the AJC. Let's rock. First things first, happy Halloween. That's the only reason I'm wearing this Smash Pumpkin looking kit. All right, is this one the worst ever Juve kit? It's up there, but I don't think it's the worst. And maybe that'll be a separate little YouTube short or something, but not the worst ever. Look, I hope you all enjoy your Halloween and do so safely. Now, let's get to reports about Rodrigo de Paul. Apparently, talks have begun between Juventus and the player's entourage, and also Samardzic. And we know that what we've been hearing is that Juve and Samardzic already have terms. What's being reported now is that Samardzic is not seen as an alternative to Rodrigo de Paul. So what these outlets are trying to portray is that Juve is potentially looking at bringing both in the winter mercado. Now, for me, I'm not buying it. And I'm actually not buying that de Paul is a move that we could pull off this winter. I think Samardzic is completely realistic given the fact it's loan, obligation to purchase and everything. It's going to be a low salary. Makes sense. I also believe Sudakov is a move that makes sense. Now, in other moves, we still have in Italian media, them reporting Khéphren Thuram available for 40 million euros. That is not the case. Romeo Agresti has brought that to our attention 2 weeks ago, saying that it was already 60 million euros at the end of last season, but there's still reports saying he's available for 40 million euros. Juve could entice Nice by adding Illing Jr. into the deal. Apparently, they are interested in that player, but I think Illing Jr. wants to go back to the homeland in England. That's just what I think. So I don't even see Thuram, not realistic whatsoever, at least until the summer, and I still don't feel like it's a realistic target. Player's will is going to come into effect. I don't know if his will is going to be Juve, all right? So that's just how I feel. Berardi. Apparently, according to Nico Schira, Juve has backed out of any interest in Berardi, and that is due to the form and current run from Soule. Sassuolo's unwilling to budge on the price tag of 30 to 35 million euros for Mimo Berardi, and Juventus is simply going to walk away, apparently. Now, does that mean Soule is coming in the winter mercado back from return from loan? No. Mirko Di Natale says it is not in Juve's plans whatsoever to bring him back early. He'll be back in the summer. So now if Juve wants to do something and still bring in an attacker in the winter, they could still do so, but I think they've got good enough coverage with Weah, who can cover on either left or right side. You've got Chiesa, you've got Moise Kean, who can also play the wing. I think we're going to be okay. You've got Illing Jr. still, but he may be outgoing in January. We'll have to wait and see, but still, Juve backs out on Berardi because of Soule, but Soule will still return in the summer. All right, now we get to contract extensions. Well, Fagioli. Fagioli has agreed to an extension with Juventus. Why wouldn't he agree to an extension? Look at what just happened, all right? We all saw the betting scandal, but he has agreed to terms to extend to 2028 with Juventus. His current contract runs out in 2026. For me, I don't really see the rush, especially given the circumstances of what's happened with his ban for 7 months after the plea deal and everything in terms of the betting scandal. There's no rush to extend this player. It's all up to him to show us that he's worthy of this contract, show us that he can get back to where he needs to be, show us that he can keep clean and out of trouble. However, what this also might be for Juventus is an absolute steal of a deal and bargain because of the given circumstances. They could lock him up to 2028, and if he does come back, hit his potential, and reach those heights, we just got an absolute steal of a deal to 2028. So this is going to be very interesting to follow, but I have the same stance on this. I think Fagioli is extremely lucky, and I hope he realizes how lucky he is, because a different Juventus at a different time, he doesn't even get this second opportunity. But now, a contract extension with a slight raise in pay, My word, man. Count your lucky stars, Fagioli, okay? For me, it didn't have to be rushed. I think we still could have achieved that contract extension at a favorable rate and everything, because he should definitely appreciate the fact that we did back him, the fact that we did keep him around, and the fact that he's the one that's made the error. Juve does not owe the player anything. So for me, still feels a little bit rushed. But you guys know the drill. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let's mix it up on the Fagioli extension. Now we get to Vlahovic, his contract extension. Apparently the talks are underway according to Mirko Di Natale. They're trying to figure out the duration and the salary. We have heard from weaker sources that he wants a release clause in there, that he's unwilling to spread out his bonuses and his pay to help make it favorable for Juventus. We have to wait and see if any of that is actually in fact true, okay, before we can truly judge what's going on. But the one thing that is constant is Vlahovic has concerns about his health and fitness and his availability, but furthermore, the fact that he's starting to become outplayed by Moise Kean. So for Vlahovic, that's the main thing. And now we get rumors today that there are doubts about Vlahovic starting against Fiorentina. Hopefully that's not the case, but to be honest, I would have no fear in playing Moise Kean next to Chiesa, as Chiesa is set to start against Fiorentina. Great news for Juventus. Now, Milik is the one said to apparently be starting if Vlahovic cannot go. For me, Milik, it's clear. It is clear as day out there. He is much, much better coming off the bench in the second half. He's had massive impacts doing so. And from the start, he just doesn't bring that same level in the games that he started. So for me, he's a sub. Kean needs to go. For Vlahovic, his contract extension, everything, the one thing I need from Vlahovic is to not get outplayed. No disrespect to Moise Kean, but he can't get outplayed by those guys. And right now, Kean has showed improvement in dribbling, hold-up play, his touch. I need the same to come from Vlahovic, because really those other facets haven't really improved. Not to the degree of Moise Kean, and we can't have him being the protagonist. Vlahovic needs to be our guy. So it's going to be a question mark that follows him around. You guys know the drill. Let me know what you think about the Vlahovic extension. Now, we get to the injury statuses. We talked about him maybe having some doubts. Weah out 2 to 3 weeks. Sandro out till the end of November. We had reports that Danilo could be back this week training with the group. Not the case. Romeo Agresti says Danilo is out 100% against Fiorentina. He will not be playing. So, with him apparently coming back to training, I said this, I probably wouldn't start him against Fiorentina because I wouldn't break up what's going on. And when you have a matchup against Cagliari right after that, that would be a good return game for someone coming off injury. However, now the circumstances, if training is pushed back further, group training pushed back further, then you got the Cagliari match, then you have an international break, and then Inter on deck. So it could potentially be after Inter that I actually think about bringing Danilo back. So this is going to be an interesting one to follow, and Max is going to have to make some decisions. I do ultimately believe, we had the YouTube short out yesterday, as some fans believe that Danilo may have lost his spot. I don't feel that way whatsoever. I like what Rugani, Bremer, and Gatti are doing. I wouldn't break it up just yet. But I do think we ultimately have to get back to Danilo being one of the main guys as he moves the ball the best out of the other three. And he's our true capitano. And he is one of the most consistent over the past few years. So for me, I would work at getting him back there. The other thing with Danilo, he can deal with the versatility in attackers a little bit better than Rugani. There are certain players that give Rugani fits. Danilo can handle a little bit better. So that's just my 2 cents. You guys know the drill. Let me know what you think. But Danilo, if he can only get back for the Cagliari match, then with the international break, and given what could happen, depending how the next 2 games go for Rugani, Bremer, Gatti, I may also keep him out, keep Danilo out for that Inter game. It's going to be interesting to follow. You guys know the drill. Let me know what you think about that. The Vlahovic extension, Vlahovic's play, Fagioli extension, and everything else. All right, can't wait to mix it up with your comment section. Do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hey, let's share the content as we keep pushing for that next goal, which is 5K subs. All right, thank you all for your continued support, and we'll mix it up, and then I'll be back tomorrow with another update. As always, no matter what, fino alla fine, Forza Juve, ciao tutti, and happy Halloween.